So today, Zoodle Zoppers, we're going to be attempting to do a iron-on patch onto a bag, a Halloween bag. So as you'll notice throughout this video, there was some difficulty actually getting the iron-on patch on there, probably because I didn't actually use an iron. I did use a fabric steamer. So you'll see the struggle all through the video. But anyway, this is just like a basic Halloween bag, and this is a little pack of iron-on patches. And here is my fabric steamer, and heating that up. It actually has two settings. There's like a higher setting and a lower setting, and I did start off with the lower setting just to see, how that worked. I didn't want it to be too hot because I didn't want it to melt the plastic or damage the iron-on patch. So this is what the iron-on patches look like. It's just a variety of things here. And just waiting for this fabric steamer to heat up. And I'm sure you can also see part of the bag in the video. It has a cute little message on it, so I will actually show you that later. And here's a cute little message. It says, "Hey, boo." So I thought that was adorable. I did buy the bag like this. This bag actually came from Old Navy. It's one of their canvas bags. The iron-on patches actually came from Amazon, but I noticed that Walmart also has them as well. And so I just kind of picked them up. And because I didn't have an iron, I decided to try the fabric steamer. So I guess we'll see how that's going to work. And that's another angle there. And I am actually, right now, I'm currently getting the iron-on patches open, taking them out of the bag. And I'm just going to flip this bag over here. And I'm going to actually put my iron-on patch on this side. And I'm just going to select which one I want. Okay, so again, I'm just taking out the iron-on patches. And I'm actually going to show you all what they look like. And it looks like the first one here is going to be like a face, scary jack-o'-lantern face. And then we have like another scary jack-o'-lantern face. And the white ones are the ones that glow in the dark. The black ones are the ones that don't. And also we have another scary jack-o'-lantern face. That one's actually bigger, a little bigger than the other two. It's a bat. And another jack-o'-lantern face. This one kind of looks like it's winking. That's a non-glow-in-the-dark one. We have a skeleton, or a part of a skeleton. It's glow-in-the-dark. That would look cool on a shirt. And then we have our ghost, glow-in-the-dark ghost. And we got another scary jack-o'-lantern face that glows in the dark. So those are our pieces. I'm actually going to go with the ghost for this bag. I think it looks the best. I think the others will actually look better on like a t-shirt or something. So I'm just gonna put it down on the bag here, and I ended up getting like a cloth to put over it. So I'm gonna actually put a cloth over it and steam it that way, just so I don't melt the plastic. And there we go. And I've never actually did an iron-on patch with a fabric steamer. instead of an iron, so I wasn't really sure how this was going to turn out. So just from this little project here, it looks like in the future when I do this type of project, I will in fact need an actual iron. Um, I'm not sure if maybe it was the quality of the patch or if it was the fact that I was using a steamer instead of the iron, but it just wasn't working. I did end up getting it to work, but I do believe had I had the iron, it would have went a lot smoother. So I would have been able, I'm pretty sure I would have been able to get it on there the first time. Um, but you'll see later that I had to kind of make some changes to get it on there. So here I am just trying to steam it, and as I check it, I notice it's actually not working. It's actually, the patch is not actually sticking to the material. So after many attempts at trying to get it to stick, I realized that it wasn't working, so I changed the setting. I switched it to the high setting. Thought maybe that would help, and it did. So I just kind of kept pressing the steam and holding it there. I wasn't able to iron the ghost on smoothly, as you'll see later, but I was able to kind of hold it down once I kind of got it figured out. I was able to hold it down in certain places to kind of get it to, I guess, melt the glue and stick to the fabric. So as you'll see, I'm just kind of still working with it here, and I was actually working at this for a while before I kind of got it to stick. So at this point, I noticed that the heat wasn't penetrating through the plastic. So I actually decided to peel the ghost from the plastic and try applying the heat directly to the ghost. That way, thought maybe the heat would actually get to it better so that it would actually stick to the material because it just wasn't sticking. I was able to get one little piece to stick. I guess I must have applied more heat or more pressure, or maybe I held it on there longer, but as you can see, there is like a little tiny piece there that did stick. So I just peeled the little ghost off and stuck him on there, and then I took the cloth and just placed it over the ghost. I did make sure that the little pieces of the ghost are, straight as possible. I actually didn't spend too much time on trying to get the pieces straight. I just wanted to make sure he was on there well enough to where he would, just kind of stick, because I was just sort of ready to just be done with this project. So I got him setting here, and I'm just reheating my fabric steamer, because at this point I'd actually given up and I was gonna stop, and I had turned the fabric steamer off. So I did have to turn it back on and allow it to reheat up on that high setting. So I was pretty confident that this was actually going to work this way. And you'll actually see the end result here in just a minute. And one thing I did like about this fabric steamer is that it actually did not take it very long to heat up once I honestly, I didn't read the directions on it. So I just kind of winged it as far as how to use it. So it didn't take it long to heat up once you start using it. So that's one thing that I really loved about this fabric steamer. So I actually have the cloth here. The cloth is actually a little damp at this point. So I'm not sure if that may have had some sort of impact on, how well the heat actually got to it, or if it may have affected the iron-on patch by getting that damp also. But in the future, I will be sure to use an actual iron for these types of things because that's what they are intended for, an iron, and it looks like they do work better than the actual fabric steamer. So again, I just placed the cloth here and I'm still waiting at this point. I'm still waiting for the fabric steamer to heat up. But once it does, I'm basically going to do what I was doing before, except this time I'm going to try to hold the fabric steamer on there a little longer so that heat can just go directly to the ghost and melt the glue or whatever it is that makes it stick to the fabric. So this is actually what I'm doing now. I wanted to do like the fingers first just because, it wasn't something that I wanted to get it stuck on there and then it starts falling off or peeling off. So I really wanted to focus on those and like the upper part of the ghost first. And my goal was sort of to work my way around the edges of the ghost and not necessarily worry so much about the middle part, but just to get those edges and make sure those are sealed on there because once those are stuck, you're really not gonna have to worry about the rest of it coming off. So that's what I did. I just focused on those edges first, and then I did go back in and steam the middle of the ghost. And then I went in, and if there were any pieces that looked like they might have been loose, or maybe they looked like they weren't sealed down or glued down as well as some other areas, I tried to go back over them with that fabric steamer. So at this point, it looks like I pretty much have most of the edges glued down from the heat. So it was actually starting to come along now once I realized that I needed to peel the ghost off of the plastic and applied the direct heat that way with a cloth over just so it doesn't melt the patch. And again, I do believe that this is due to not having an actual iron. I believe had I used the proper tools that the process would have allowed me to leave the plastic on, put the cloth over it, and then just iron it down as normal, peel it off, and the ghost would have just been stuck to the cloth. These patches, they actually did not come with directions. So I was just kind of going off of past experience with iron-on patches. As you notice, looks like I got water everywhere there because my steamer fell over. I tried to sort of just prop it up and let the steam get to it. And I felt like I did have to hold the steamer on there for quite some time for it to actually seal down the glue on this ghost. So it did get very hot. Like I could even feel the steam. Like when I had my hand around it and was trying to like move the cloth around, I could feel the steam. So it was definitely very hot, but I just think that because it was not an iron and applying that heat like, like an iron would, I just think that's the reason that this didn't really turn out as hoped. But for the most part, it did turn out pretty well once I did get it on there. And that's what it looks like. At this point, I'm just kind of looking it over to see if there's any other places that maybe I should hold the steamer onto. But so far, it looks like it did come out quite well. And here's what it looks like in the dark. I noticed that it actually doesn't glow too well, so You can kind of barely see it. I actually had to get it in pitch black to be able to really see it, but this is sort of what it looks like in the dark. I'm sorry, I know you guys probably can barely see it, but this was the outcome of this particular project. So this didn't really work out the way I would have hoped. So again, going forward, I am going to use a regular iron, and hopefully this will actually turn out a lot better in the future. Well, that's all we have for now. If you're new here, the subscribe button welcomes you, and go ahead and don't forget to give that like button a big hug. See you next time. Bye.